Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, a market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for October the 27th, 2011. Now our first position is going to be back in the energy sector in the stocks. Now we know that we were doing in Canada the other day. It's moving along pretty good, so we're going to stick with that one. Now a very similar trade is in the Weatherford International, the WFT. Now looking at this, we can see that our predicted MACD and our predicted TSI have made this cross several weeks ago and have been pushing higher. Now what I do like about this particular trade, the predicted MACD on the trigger is just breaking above this zero line, suggesting that we have a considerable potential for an upside move. Our predicted short, medium, and long-term differences are staying at trend-ready levels just above this zero line. So it's a very it's a slower moving trade, but I think there's very good opportunity. Now when we break it down into the individual crossovers, you can see that our short-term crossover here, we're just going to bring that up, is somewhat flat, but it still looks pretty decent. Our medium-term crossover still holding right along the trigger, and our long-term crossover also still holding in this formation. So when we're looking at getting into a buy on this particular trade, we're going to narrow down, we're going to again use a number of different tools to try and help or assist with that. Now right now we can see that our key level 1442 followed by 1478 and 1501. We've closed at 1528. This is the first bullish sign that we've closed above all three of the Vantage Point predicted moving averages when using the predicted triple cross. Now the triple cross is one of my favorite tools to use, but you can see that I'm working those other crossovers into my analysis. Now when we have all three of these crossovers in agreement, actually four including the triple EMA cross, it represents a fairly strong probability that it's going to continue to move in the current direction of that cross, where in this case is currently up. Now we're also going to bring this in with using the Vantage Point predicted high and low. The red line is the Vantage Point predicted high, the black line the Vantage Point predicted low. We notice here that it's staying within that, pretty much within the range of Vantage Point predictions. So from here we can now go into the daily report knowing that that key level is lower down in that 1420 area. Now I'm just going to bring this up a little bolder so everybody can see this. So for tomorrow we're looking for a very minor, pretty shallow pullback, 1474, and then from there we're looking for an intraday move to 1562. So we're getting almost $1 on this stock, a $1 move on a $14 or $15 stock is a very substantial move from an intraday perspective. Now again, we're seeing very similar moves to that with Ancana, and again, this trade, if you're in that Ancana trade, still be a little cautious because there's a very high correlation to that trade and this one. So with that said, we can identify that level. Now what I would prefer to use as a stop would be down in this level here, down in this 1150 area. Now for an intraday trader, that's obviously far too much. So an intraday trader, I would be looking, I see some very decent support down here at 14. So an intraday trader can use this $14 a share mark as a potential stop, but your medium and longer term trader should be looking down in this somewhere below the $12 mark on the stock. And again, if we look at this particular stock sitting in between 14 and $15, it was just a very short time ago that you can see this line up here that this stock was at $22. So the possibility of a significant move on this stock over the coming days and weeks and months ahead, you can see why I would I certainly like the look of this stock from a medium-term perspective. Now that's our first position for tonight. Now our second trade for tonight is going to be in the Forex market, specifically the cross pair Euro British Pound. Now what we can see with this is the Euro again coming under pressure. This is going to be a choppy trade. Now going into Thursday trade, we're going to see what the European Summit comes up with. I certainly wouldn't hold my breath on anything productive coming out of that, but there could be. So there is going to be a lot of volatility in the Euro cross pairs. But I like this one better for a number of reasons. I feel it's safer than Euro US, Euro Swiss franc, Euro Japan. These are very volatile currency pairs right now. Euro US all over the map. So I tend to avoid Euro US in my trading. I advise my clients of the same thing because it's just too choppy, and it's being driven by news that quite frankly is really not that important, and the slightest little rumor and it's moving all over the place, where the Euro British Pound is actually for less experienced traders. It's much slower moving. So right now, let's have a look and see what's going on here. The first thing we want to do is identify some key support or resistance levels. In this particular case, these are resistance levels: 87.10, 87.09, and 87.02. The triple EMA cross not fully completed, but certainly trying. The 3 days crossed over the 8-day and the 18-day predicted moving average. The predicted short, medium, and long-term differences are below the zero line. That's what we're looking for in a short trade. Now, these are also nowhere near oversold levels, using the Vantage Point predicted short, medium, and long-term differences to assist in determining that. These are at trend-ready levels for a move to the downside. Predicted MACD is really struggling to get above this zero line. You can see the trigger went above the zero line and it retreated right back, but the Vantage Point trigger did not go above the zero line. Predicted true strength indicator also sitting flat on the zero line, getting ready again to cross the trigger to the downside. When we look at the crossovers from Vantage Point, we can see the short term has crossed to the downside over a week ago. Medium term crossover is about 4 days old, and the long-term crossover is only 1 day old. So this is telling me that essentially if this trend can get going, we should be able to look to target the 85 or 86 level again. From the resistance standpoint, from a level in which stop should be, clearly they should be above the 88 level. That's for your short-term day traders. Your medium and longer-term traders, I would have my stop above the about 88.70. You can see how I kind of determine these stops. Another candle up there, even again with this about the 80, 88.70, 80, almost the 89 level. So you can see how I will look at this to put my stops, and then I'll also look for targets. Right now I want to get below this line. We've been flirting with this 86 level for the better part of the week. You can clearly see that we're seeing some support down there. But again, our indicators are warning us that the likely move is, from a short, medium, and longer term perspective, is going to be down, not up. Now, if we can break through this 86.60 level, then this would immediately bring in this next level down in this 85.80 area. If we can get through that level, then I would start to target again back down right in this 84.90 to 85 level. I believe that there's a very good possibility that in the coming days and weeks ahead that this would be a likely target. Only something earth-shattering out of the Eurozone is going to change the current direction of this pair, in my opinion. Not to say that Great Britain is in great shape either, but I think the Euro is in far worse shape than what Great Britain is. So that's how I come up with that perspective. Now, what we're also going to do before we go to our daily report is we're going to look and see how Vantage Point's been doing, calling the predicted high and predicted low of the day. Well, you can see that it's only touched the predicted high of the day, but it's never gone through there. So if I actually remove this here, this line, so everybody can see this, we're actually breaking through the bottom of the Vantage Point predicted low. Again, this is a bearish signal in my respectful opinion. So from there, we go to the daily report. We look to see if we can fine-tune this entry point after we've gone through this analysis. For tomorrow, we can see we've had a number of down days on the Neural Index, but we have an up day for tomorrow. So does that mean that this is a trend reversal? No, it does not, guys. What it's telling us is that we're going to we have the potential to have an update on Euro Great Britain tomorrow. We're going to use that up day to reset our short positions in this 87.36 area, and again our stop should be somewhere just over that 88 mark, even for intraday trading, because there's going to be a lot of volatility in the Euro, over the next couple of days. Now the immediate target, 86.76. If we can break through that 86.60 level like I was talking about, that leaves the door wide open to the 85 level. So with that said, these are the market positions for October the 27th, 2011. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.